Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this.
Into this building, a team that we said all week, Jeff, would win the Final Four, would win the national title if it was played in Neville Arena, coming into this building, holding them to 59 points and finding a way to win in this style.
Yes, Northwestern beating Purdue.
That's pretty high up. That is pretty high up. But the fact that you had Kentucky holding Auburn, 30.9% shooting, the lowest field goal percentage Kentucky's had of an opponent the entire season, the second worst points per possession opponent for Auburn. Trivia time. What was the only game Auburn was worse from the field points per possession, Goodman? Can you define what points per possession means?
Yeah, like it's this huge formula that it goes in. And I could probably get my calculator and figure it out.
Mississippi State actually got it done. But it was very surprising. A wire-to-wire win. And, yeah, this building has a reputation as being one of the most intimidating environments. You said earlier you were here 5 years ago for this matchup and said it was on fire. Yeah. We never got that. Like, we had a couple of moments when Kentucky was getting a little bit threatened by Auburn, but I thought this was impressive. I just filed a column for CBSSports.com, and I'll talk about this on the Sunday night episode.
Filed the column?
CBS Sports is on. Yeah,
got to get those plugs in, Coach.
You remember when you used to do that?
Yeah. I don't miss that at all.
Sunday night, Eye on College Basketball. We'll also get into this, more of us than there are of them. But in that column, what I said was the fact that you got this performance on the road after what they did against Ole Miss, I think you've got at least reason to believe that Kentucky can be a factor in March. And if it is, if we look up in a month, and this is a trendy, this will be where the
you are saying this is the turning point.
If it's going to be a trendy team,
definitively,
that trend will have started right here.
Definitively,
semi-definitively.
Okay, thank you. No, listen, they were great tonight. They were great, and I think the biggest takeaway for me is, like, again, their manhood was kind of questioned coming to this, right? You're soft, you don't guard, you can't guard. That's all they heard about. You lose 3 straight at home, and the way they lost them. Again, you broke it all down. I mean, they probably watched your video. Your video might have been the reason, because what you said was, I think I quote you in saying, like, they can't fix this.
I don't know if it was fixable.
You said that.
Here's what happened.
They fixed it.
Yeah, here's the difference. One, go look at the box score. How many minutes did Ugonna and Yeso play tonight?
A lot.
36 minutes.
A lot.
Well, you had to, because, again, no Trey Mitchell, which is another huge factor that they were able to do.
But is it?
I think it helps. I think it helps them defensively that Trey
totally
Mitchell's
does.
There. And Trey Mitchell's a great player, and I think that
he's not a good defender.
He's not what Onyesu is. And I think that they found something these last 2 games, right? And I will see if this is something that Cal leans into. One thing that we have seen this year is the success that Kentucky has had playing this more up-tempo spread style. Like, he's leaned into it, right? And now I think we know what their best lineup is, right? It's Onyesu at the 5. It's Adu Thoreau at the 4 with any of the 3 guards. You could throw any about that.
I think
it's
Shepard,
Dillingham,
Reeves, and Dillingham.
Right. Wagner off the bench.
I would make the argument that Wagner is the best defender out of the 3.
Because he's big and strong.
And he will light people up, and he will get up in you defensively. But I think that we saw them find something here. And my question is, are they going to lean into that? Are they going to be able to make this be something that continues? Because, look, frankly, with what we know they can do offensively, if they can do what they did tonight on the defensive end, like Cal at the end of the press conference tonight said, it was Bruce Pearl said, if Kentucky guards like that, they can beat anybody. Right. But he phrased it. They could beat everybody.
No, Cal at the end of his press conference was telling us about how many All-Stars were in
It was a very, random aside here. Like, he was kind of getting going. He got on this All-Star
because he already had it in his head.
He did, and then he just left the presser. And he was like done. I thought he'd want to stick around because he had an interesting quote to start off where he was like, leave my players alone, keep attacking me. And I think between that and then what Onyenso said in the presser, I think they had a lot of that noise playing for Kentucky. They had heard a lot of it, and for them to be this geared up, I mean, Reeves said it in the locker room. He's like, "No, we knew how much this meant, and the energy was."
What was really interesting? What they said after the game is that part of why they play better on the road is that there's an expectation of them winning at home. And I think it was Reeves that said it, where we're looser when we're on the road because people are expecting us to win.
Said that too.
There's less pressure on them, and I think that's kind of where you see some of the freshmen come out, like some of the youth on this team, where when they are at home and you have that expectation, you have 24,000. Like, I was there for the Tennessee game. Like, that place was rocking.
Yeah.
Right. Rupp is not always the greatest environment to walk into. It can be quiet sometimes when it's not a huge game. it was rocking against Tennessee. You could ask Kyle Tucker. He was here with us tonight, and he said that that 3-game stretch, it was as loud as any 3-game stretch that he's heard it in Rupp, and they lost all 3 of those games.
Hey, by the way, you know what? I forgot to ask Cal. Or if I ask you in front of Cal, is he still in the hot seat?
Is he? Look,
Dauster put him in the hot seat, literally at Rupp Arena. At Rupp Arena after the Tennessee loss, he put him on the hot seat.
So he's doing what I do. Misquoting me on purpose. It is what it is.
You deserve it. You deserve it.
I deserve that one. No, it was. If they are, let's kind of go big picture on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have all reached this conclusion where UConn and Purdue are the 2 best teams in America. If we can say that the defense that we've seen out of Kentucky these last 2 games, and just say it's happening the next but
you can't.
I have a thought on this, but continue.
But say that their A game, yes, their A game is probably the 3rd best team in the country.
Can you let him finish? Please?
Yes. Let me set
finish
the question.
But I'm saying
you can respond.
I know what you're going to say.
Okay. What am I going to say?
I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
This is incredible podcasting, by the way.
If they are going to guard at this level, where do they rank?
My caveat is they cannot consistently guard at this level.
Probably
Even
true.
Calipari said in the presser, it is a game-to-game thing, and he meant in terms of the deployments he's going to use and all that. However, I think if you can get this every other game, I think collectively that will give Kentucky the momentum. It's not going to go into March without having another loss. That you have these kind of performances, I think it does matter significantly. They didn't need Reed Shepherd to be absolutely incredible tonight. They didn't need Dillingham to be ridiculous on the road here. They tapped into something defensively where they can't do this moving. Like we have seen years upon years. How many times can you ever remember a team that was pedestrian on defense for the first 3 months of the season, and they turn it on defensively? It doesn't happen. But
the only time it did, there's one time it did. It was Duke in 2015. You know what Duke in 2015 did? Yeah, you guys remember this. In January, I remember very specifically. In January, Miami went into Cameron Indoor Stadium and put up like 96 on them and embarrassed them, right? And that was on a Monday night that was coming off of a Saturday game where they gave up 85 to somebody. It was like 2 games in 3 days. They just got blitzed. They dropped to like 78th or something like that on KenPom. And then whatever it was, they flipped the switch. They put it all together. What does that Duke team and this Kentucky team have in common?
They got pros.
A bunch of freshmen.
Yes.
A whole bunch of freshmen.
And they have pros. If they can get a little more consistency, then they've got a chance there. I still don't think they're true national title contender because I did a story on this about a month ago. There's never been a team that's been this average offensively in the past 25 years that has won a title. A few have made the Final Four, Miami last year, but no team that's sub 40 defensive KenPom has gotten even to the title game.
We both know the answer to this.
Yes.
What's the worst defensive team that has won a national title heading into the tournament since in the KenPom era? You know the answer.
Since 97.
Since 97. Do you know who it is?
No.
You're going to be shocked by the answer.
Really? The best player on the team is on our network. He kicked your ass
Seriously?
in ping pong.
Really? That Carolina team?
That Carolina team was the worst defensive team according to KenPom's.
Because Hansbrough can't guard.
Yep. We're gonna get to Antonio Reeves' interview here in a second, but I just want to add. I'm curious your guys' thoughts on this. I don't think that they have to be this good defensively.
Agreed. Right? I agree with that
because of what they are. Their ability to score the ball. What they need to be able to do is win games when they're with their defense on the nights where they kind of get stuck in the mud a little bit offensively. And I think that's what we saw tonight. That's kind of what we saw against Ole Miss. Like, can they win games with toughness?
They got to be consistently average defensively. Don't be awful. Don't give up 90. Because if you're going to give up 90, honestly, you're going to get out. You're going to get bounced from the tournament.
Now, but okay. They beat Ole Miss at home. But Mississippi has not been a metric star in the entire season. We'll see on that. And then Auburn, it has been better as of late, but it did get boat raced at Florida, and so you have that's here. So
their point guard play is so underwhelming to me.
Well, let's get into that. Let's get into Auburn in a second.
Yeah,
we were able to catch.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.